What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to anyone and everyone who supports us. Special shout out to all the students from By the Hood University, all the members of the MDC, as well as the youth from the By the Hood Ownership Camp. Listen, speaking of that, June 18th, we have a black tie event coming up. Make sure you look out for that. Come support. All monies go to the babies for the By the Hood Ownership Camp. It's here in Philadelphia. It's catered. Got a DJ. We're going to get dressed up and we're going to have some fun for an amazing cause. And shout out to all the folks from Better Than Success and Philadelphia Real Estate Week who are helping us organize and take our camp to the next level. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Corey, as always. Corey, what's up with you, good brother?
What it is, though, every day above ground's a good day. Don't miss a chance to make it a good day. Let's get it.
All right. And listen, this platform is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who are doing amazing work, putting out positive energy, doing things to, enhance and better our community. And this episode is special for us because we have our sister on with us. She's a member of our community. She's a leader. She's literally one of the best traders I know. And I say that, and whether she's here, whether she's not here, she's that good at what she does. We have our sister, Tropicana Leslie on. You call her Tropicana because she got the juice. But what's up, Les?
What's up, guys? It's always a pleasure to be with y'all. We love y'all for real. We appreciate the community that you guys have created for us, and we appreciate being a part of that community and being able to merge what we have going on over at Melanated Money /TBDT with the beautiful things that you guys do in the MDC and By the Hood University. So it's always a pleasure.
Thank you for saying that. And one of the reasons we want to bring you back on is because, you've come back and created multiple platforms to kind of further your mission, and it's very powerful. And we love to see what you're doing. So as we get into this, because we've had you on here before to tell your story, so we really don't want to talk about your story per se. I want to talk about this thing that you're building now. So we want to talk about now and the future, right? So one of your focuses has always been on Black women. So I just want you to talk briefly about your reasoning and logic behind focusing on Black women and why that is so important to you to help them, achieve with their dreams and goals.
So I always get flack from the guys about the amount of focus and energy that I put into my women's group and my efforts with building Black women. But one of the things we discuss in those groups behind the scenes is just the unique challenges that Black women face, and that we can all relate to and understand. So, that wealth is holistic. It involves and entails certain aspects of our relationships and our children and our jobs and our bosses and our degrees. And so those are things that we feel the women in the group agree that nobody can relate to, not necessarily brown women, European women, you guys, our male counterparts can relate to. So I just try to build a safe environment where we can address holistically the Black women and the issues that we face as Black women, and foster growth. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about side hustles. We talk about budgeting. We talk about trading. We talk about investing. We're getting into supposed to have an event next week showing sisters, because we are the matriarchs, showing sisters how to take a small amount of money every month and make our children millionaires from the day they're born. And while you guys do play a role in that as fathers and as husbands, those are typically things that we're responsible for, and that we tend to make the decisions for. So we just foster those things within the group. And, we share what we talk about in the group every Monday right now on the co-ed webinar, but it's about women doing what women do, coming together, kind of setting the table, and then opening up that table to our brothers so that we can have discussions about what the women have going on behind the scenes so that we can take it out into our communities.
You know what? I'm low-key jealous of y'all, right? I'm gonna tell y'all why, right? Because I'm gonna tell you why though. It's serious because, right, so I'm in spaces where it's all men who try to uplift each other and things like that. But because we're men, we don't open up to each other or have conversations the way y'all do. Y'all have real conversations and build deeper connections and relationships because y'all talk about investing, y'all talk about saving, but then you guys let each other in a way that I've never been in this. Men don't do that. Yeah, I mean, and Corey, you know you're muted, but I'm pretty sure you agree with me, right? you know,
Man,
I guess.
we don't do nothing that look like that. I
Yeah.
mean, we might watch the game and I mean,
Yeah.
you know, have some barbershop talk, but you know, once that's done, that's done. Like, I'm
And it's
not,
a real conversation because we're raised a certain way, and it's really because it's about survival, right? So we're raised a certain way, and it kind of, I think it makes us closed off. When I see you guys share energy and talk about it, and you talk about wealth being holistic, which is true, you guys actually add more value to each other because you're willing to be open and transparent in a way that men just aren't. So I think it's important for you guys to have that space. You know.
And that's one of the conversations that I've been having with a lot of men that I consider brothers, is encouraging them to try to create a community like what we've built. And I consistently get the answer that it's just hard for us to open up. We're not going to be able to talk about the things on the level that you guys talk about. And I get it. It's been drilled into my head now, over several months, having conversations with different brothers. But so, all right, we'll take that role, and we will have the holistic approach and have those conversations about families of which you guys are a member. And then, like I said, set the table and then open it up to you guys on our co-ed chat on Monday and share with you what we're building, and just invite you guys to be a part and go out into the communities as our men and carry the message forward. Yeah. But we're okay with playing our.
Men ain't talking about nothing. Men ain't talking about nothing, and they don't include beer wings and sports, man. Like we
But you know what? We got to change that.
I mean, we talk about. But listen, seriously though, like so. You know, once a month I get with my brothers, my actual brothers, and you know what I mean, and my family, and we just sit and chill, and you know what I mean, and we talk about what's going on in our families and how we can help each other. But that's, you know what I mean, we've been doing that for 25 years, so that opening up ain't nothing, because we know whatever happens in that room is going to stay in that room, because we are literally family, you know what I mean? But when you try to take that to a larger community, you can't be as sure and as positive, right? Because, you know, we live in a competitive society, and people will use your, you know, whatever you got going on to try to tear you down instead of help, you know, fill in the void for you. So it get kind of hard when you're in a room full of men to try to tell them your weaknesses, because if you're in a competitive situation, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be really, really careful. I'm not competitive when it comes to other men, but I know that in a room full of men, it gets competitive.
No, so but that's why the conversations like these are necessary, because that's something that we need to work on. Because I agree, like I don't consider myself competitive with my brothers, right? And you know, and it's a difference between family and relatives. I have people that I'm closer to than actual relatives, right? But that's why I'm inspired by some of the work that Les does with like Melanated Money and her squad, yo, they wrote it like listen, you guys are traveling now as a squad, right? Like
we ride for each other. Let me share with you guys, because you know my background is as a therapist and a drug counselor. Mm-hmm. So in my last employment at an inpatient treatment facility in Philadelphia, I had the experience of I would do individual counseling sessions with each of my clients every week. And then every day we would do group counseling sessions. And so it killed me to sit in individual counseling sessions and hear the men on my caseload all talk about sharing the same experience and trauma as children, and then having to sit in groups with 20 people, 10 of them being men, and me being the only person in the room that knew that 8 of the men in the group had the same childhood trauma, but I was the only one who knew because they weren't comfortable enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why I'm so passionate about not necessarily you guys being open enough to share your childhood traumas and the specific of your relationships, but just knowing that, like, as women, we all face the same issues as Black women every day, going into our jobs, dealing with our bosses. You guys have that same thing. You guys have the same childhood experiences, the same goals, the same family issues. And to some extent, we need to create a safe community where we can talk about that, because if it doesn't get addressed, it's going to keep us from reaching our higher goals, which is creating generational wealth for the children that we created.
Yeah. And I think what's dope about that is the fact that you recognize that as part of being wealth creation, because you do a lot of things. Like you're an amazing options trader. You work in insurance. You do a lot of things business wise, but you recognize that it's a holistic thing. It's not just the money. And I think that's dope that you bring that to our community. and share that with our community. A couple things I want to talk about is I want to talk about your work in insurance, though. You're building a nice insurance business as well. What so when you talk about insurance, what made you want to focus on insurance and add that as part of what you bring to the community in terms of wealth building and protecting our families?
So I did not necessarily want to take the helm, if you will, with insurance. So a while ago, I had a referral relationship where I was encouraging everybody to go get their insurance needs met with other Black insurance agents, because in 2011, I got my first insurance policy, and it was such a huge weight off my shoulders to know that whether or not I achieved everything that I hoped to achieve with my goals at that time, my children would be taken care of. And so now I kind of look at it as one of the most important aspects of wealth creation, generational wealth building, if not the most important aspect of generational wealth creation. Because we all have tremendous goals in real estate and options trading, and we will probably all be wildly successful. But if I walk out of this door of this Airbnb in Miami today and get hit by a car, if I don't ever take another options trade, if all the options contracts that I have open right now expire worthless next Friday because I died in Miami today, my children will be millionaires. And it costs me a couple $100s a month to ensure that if I accomplish everything or if I accomplish nothing, my children will be millionaires. And so we all come into this community and we say that the goal of being members of this community and learning to invest in the stock market and learning to invest in crypto and becoming options traders is to create generational wealth. We all say that. I'm not sure if we all mean it, but if what you really want to do is create generational wealth, then let's take care of that up front and put some tools and some policies in place that those other people use as wealth generation tools and wealth building tools for their families and their children. Let's put them in place up front, so that if anything happens, if we never finish our stock analysis combo course in By the Hood University, or we never get to take any options trades, our children will be millionaires. And further, make your children members of this community as is age appropriate, so that if something does happen to you, they don't squander that money. I've helped several people through what we call millionaire baby policies, ensure that their children and their great-grandchildren will be millionaires. I've made sure that one of the things that you guys are big on, if something happens to a number of the sisters, their houses will not be lost. They have insurance in place that will allow their children to pay off their mortgage and still have money. So those kinds of things. It's like we've put the cart before the horse in some respect. And I think bringing it back to insurance is a way of ensuring that if we don't live long enough to do all the things that we want to do and learn all the things that we want to learn, our children still have that opportunity. They're not starting over in poverty because we didn't set things up properly to ensure that what we were working on was continued generation after generation.
Yeah, that's good stuff. The question that I have for you is this, though. In speaking in our communities and to our communities, what are some of the challenges that you face when talking about insurance? Like, I'm pretty sure the challenges that, are specific to our community where, I'll tell you, I used to be an insurance agent and I was younger, but one of the things that I used to face, and maybe it's still a thing, people just don't want to talk about their death, literally. So they just didn't want to talk about insurance at all because it felt like they had to face their mortality. So they'd be like, look, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, is that something that you deal with, or is it something else, or some of the challenges you have?
So that's a big one. And my personal experience was with my father. My father died in December of 2019 at 92 years old. And so at 80 and 85 and 87, if we talk to him about life insurance or anything about being able to move forward as a family after his death, he acted like he was going, the mere conversation was going to take him up out of here. And I have just never been that way. And I attribute it to my first financial advisor, I think, that drilled it into my head that like, your ass is going to die. You're going to die. And so I frequently have conversations with my daughter, my youngest daughter, who's the more responsible of the two, about listen, if I die tomorrow, what you going to do? who you supposed to call? Do you have those 2 phone numbers? And what are you talking to them about? What are you asking them? I make sure that my mother knows where my insurance policies are. And I know that I'm going to die. And we all know that we're going to die. And for me, that goes back to that conversation that we were just having about, are you really here for generational wealth or what? Just to have fun with the community and go to the black tie joint on the 18th? Or are you really here for generational wealth? Because you know you're going to die.
You know what? That's a great question, right? Everybody talks about it, but are you really about it?
What is really about, right? So one of the things I think that helped me make it to be an old person is because when I was young, I was 19, and my mom had a friend that was an insurance agent, and she recruited me into Primerica. I won't even, whatever. We all did the MLM stuff, right? Yeah. But the thing about it is, I was 19 years old with $2 million in insurance. So like, I really feel like that's one of the things that kept me alive, because, like,
nobody wants to see your family get that chicken.
Yeah, nobody wanted to see my family get rich from my demise. So I think that was one of the things, what I mean? Like, as a younger person, that actually helped me get to be an older person, because I was reckless, you know what I mean? And because I knew I was worth way more dead than alive.
But Les said something that's interesting, right? She said that the feeling she got when she knew that she secured it just by doing that. All right, so now I can go focus on everything else, because regardless of what happens, this is taken care of.
And to be straight up with you, I was a much younger person. That was 10 years ago. So I was living my best life in my 30s then. And I was like, go do whatever, while out if I want to, because I know that my children will get these amount of $100,000, right? And they'll be straight, and college will be paid for, and weddings will be paid for. But something that Corey said that I wanted to touch on, and just to reiterate, you're going to die. Let's take care of it. Let's ensure that and I think that people, to address Jimmy's question, I think that we think it's a lot more expensive than it really is. Is one of the challenges, and it's not. I got a $250,000 policy with a $250,000 accidental death benefit for under $100 a month. So that's another $500,000 in our war chest for when I die, not if I die. I'm gonna die. So every chance that I get as an insurance agent, when I'm introduced to a new insurance product, if I like it and I think that it fits my family, I buy it.
Yeah. And you're right, and that's the thing. I think that, I saw someone, and they were half joking, but they had wrote like a piece, and they were talking about all the crime that happens in our community. They said if we start getting insurance on these young black men at a young age, a lot of it will happen because
the police will stop killing people.
Not only will the police stop,
the companies will make them stop.
Yeah, the insurance companies will be like, hold up, y'all. There's too much money being paid out to these black families. We got to go ahead and do something about this crime.
Insurance companies will make them stop.
But no, exactly. So I think it's powerful what you're doing in terms of introducing that. So I definitely want to highlight that. Another thing I want to highlight that you're working on. Listen, Les does all kinds of things for our community that is powerful. So I want to make sure I highlight some of them, because we'll be here all day talking about everything she does. But the insurance thing is important. The other thing is what you and CJ are doing. And shout out to our brother CJ. We just had him on a couple episodes ago. But you and him have partnered up. And shout out to Jasmine as well. I know she don't like to come on camera, but shout out to her as well. You guys are building something in South Jersey, and you are bringing, families and people together. CJ owns the barbershop, and you're using that space as of right now. And you're building an investment club where it's about education primarily, and teaching people in the community about education. What made you guys want to come together and do that in South Jersey? And, what do you see as the future for that?
I'm tearing up a little bit. Like, that is something that I'm so grateful to be a part of. And that was CJ's idea. CJ was like, hey, Liz, this is what I want to do. I want you to be a part of it. Let's get it done. And within a month's time, we were getting it done. And it's kind of, so, I always talk about how the majority of us came into this community, however we came into this community, and we were sold this idea of a Black utopia, this large group of Black people who can come together and make collective investments and buy properties and just enjoy having conversations with people who look like you about things that people that look like you don't usually talk about. So that was why it was beautiful when the BS fell away and our communities were able to merge, and now we're actually doing that. And we do a lot of it online and on Zoom and on different Facebook groups. But so the opportunity to actually meet somebody face to face every month and share the information and have these high level conversations about entrepreneurship and things that we can invest in, and helping sisters and brothers do budgeting so that they can afford to buy crypto, and like, you know, busting a grub while you're doing it and actually being face to face is huge. And I there was no way that I wasn't going to help CJ do that. And it's been great. And we've had 2 meetings so far. If you're in South Jersey, our monthly meetings will be the second Tuesday of every month in Pleasantville, New Jersey. And we've linked it up with By the Hood and MDC to provide our educational resources. But a lot of us, because we joined our classes and stuff during COVID, have not had the experience of being able to learn together. We had to watch our videos, take our quizzes and stuff individually. So we're looking forward to supporting you guys in the learning process monthly, at least to start out face to face, and be able to talk about some of those new concepts that you're learning in the classes face to face, and answer questions and have examples, and actually sit down and help you do the analysis of the financial statements and build the portfolio and set up your deposit one-on-one and in our small group. And my hope, now that I've seen it in action and see it coming to fruition, is that other people will watch what we're doing in South Jersey, and then we'll have something going on in Chicago. You know, maybe Tay Renee will launch something in Chicago, and we can get something going on in Philly, and then we can all come together for like a big convention. And just celebrate our successes. That's and amazing. I want to highlight that too, is like, we put a lot of time and energy, you, myself, CJ, Jasmine, and a lot of the brothers that are in MDC put a lot of energy into trying to help other Black people see some of the success that we've seen. And we're winning, where it's actually happening. I'm educating people about insurance, and they like, yeah, that makes sense. Sign me up. What I need to do. What I need to buy stock, I need dividend yields and stocks. Okay, what I need to do, where do I learn? I need to buy crypto. Okay, where should I set it? Like, they're listening, and our community is growing. I saw so many people join By the Hood University over the last several days, and I'm like, wait, I need to catch up. So all of the energy and the work that we're doing is actually working, and that just makes me want to work harder.
Yeah. And it's amazing to see, because people's lives are definitely being changed, like
for sure,
in all kinds of ways. I get the messages about like their kids are taken care of. I shared one the other day, which was the craziest one I heard, about the dude said, "Y'all help me buy my girl a BBL." I'm like, okay, but the fact of the matter is, like,
I mean,
I'm like, listen, if that's what you did, you did. But what I'm saying is, like, but the thing is, though, you know, that's the most powerful thing about it, is actually building that community. Because Corey likes to talk about all the time, like, some of our issues that we think are social or financial, and you know, I always like to say that it's a lot of like love that's missing, but we genuinely work together and try to figure things out as a real community. And I think that's powerful. And you know, you've added tremendous value to that. I'm excited about you coming into MDC, our private mastermind, and teaching there as well, teaching some of your strategies. You talked about insurance. You talked about South Jersey. I want you to talk about these calls that we're having. Probably said we want to move it to once a month, right? Where we're having the co-ed chat and the women's chat. Talk about just the idea of the chat and the days and times where we get to come on with, and it's open to whoever wants to join, right?
Yeah, and you're talking about the masterminds, right?
The mastermind chats that we have, yes.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but those, especially when we first started out, those women's masterminds were the highlight of my week. I would get in the shower, I would get dressed, I would put a little bit of makeup on, and just really look forward to being able to sit down on a Zoom and have progressive conversations with women who look like me, and like I said, had the same challenges and the same goals as me. And we made so much progress, and the guys were hating so hard about the progress that we were making, that of course we created the co-ed mastermind. and maybe you guys will share your experience, but it really, for me, is just an opportunity to have conversations about things that I may not have thought about. Because you guys bring a lot of stuff to the table about cryptocurrency and real estate, which is not really my area of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
So just, I think that is beneficial and that is even necessary for everyone to, it's kind of like accountability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show up here every week and I know what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to bring my notebook. And while the rest of the week, I may be having mundane conversations about football and chicken wings and cookouts and
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that we normally talk about, that gives you the opportunity to kind of absorb some information that you may not be thinking about or exposed to on a regular basis in your everyday life. And my understanding is that it's just the participation in those masterminds has been life-changing for a lot of the people who attend them regularly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you go to make changes like this, you're alone. Your sister's not doing it. Your brother's not doing it. You can't get your best friend to do it with you. So you are struggling and trying to stay motivated when in the beginning, there's not a lot of tremendous gains to see to keep you motivated. But being a part of that network and those masterminds kind of keeps people plugged in and keeps people coming back. And then as they listen, my understanding is that in the beginning, they have no idea what the hell we're talking about most of the time. But as they come back week after week, they start to understand, they recognize the words, they go back and they do a little research. And then after 6 months or so, they're unmuting themselves and participating in the conversation. So just those masterminds alone are taking people from what are these people talking about to being able to engage in conversations with people who have been investing for, I don't know, y'all been investing for like 20 years and 7 years. And that builds confidence. And it makes you do more,
I'll give you my perspective, and Corey, you can give yours as well. To me, it is life changing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because one of the things, and like you just mentioned, being in the markets for so long, I've felt like I've never had my family, right? Because I'm into certain things, but the people in my neighborhoods or things really weren't. I mean, there's some, and those are people that are in Bodyhood University, the ones that, but for the most part, that was missing. And culture is important. You talked about the idea of holistic wealth. Culture is important. So we get together and we have an open Zoom and we're talking about investing. We're talking about trading, but we're talking about it in a way that's culturally appropriate. We're using the language that we speak in. It's not like, what you watch on CNBC. You know what I mean? Like we're joking and having fun. And the thing is, sometimes we go away from trading and just talk about like a TV show, but we're having a great conversation. But we are talking about building wealth for our families. We're talking about some of our struggles, but it's done in a way that's like culturally important to me and culturally relevant. So, because a lot of times I recognize that information is held through like vocabulary, and sometimes the powers that be try to make things seem more difficult to understand than it actually is. But it's just about it's like I had someone tell me that I told people like I hate Shakespeare, right? And what I recognize, the reason I hate Shakespeare is because I never had a teacher teach it to me in a way that was culturally appropriate, right? So I had someone explain it to me, but they're like, no, it's like the bull and he moved the John here. So that's why I'm like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I would have liked Shakespeare who explained to me that way when I was a kid. I mean, not thou art thou and all that BS, but so culture is important. And those are the conversations that we have in our mastermind chats. We talk about how to evaluate a company. We actually pull charts up and look at the chart of a company, but we're talking about it in our way, if that makes any sense. So I think that's the important part of it. And when I talk about finding your family, you see that there are people that look like me, that are into the same things that like me. They like the same hip hop I like. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking to Les the other morning before trade, and she was like listening to the locks. I'm like, oh shit, like you know what I mean? Like, but this but like you know what I mean? Like, but that's what we do. Like we like what we like. You know what I'm saying? So I think that part is important. But go ahead, Corey. What's your perspective?
My perspective is that all great things begin with a conversation, right? And so to get that many people in the room to have a conversation, that's where you can achieve great things, right? Everybody ain't gonna be on the same vibration and frequency, but when you have those conversations, you get to find the people that are on the same vibe, right? And so that's why I'm not really against talking to anybody, you know what I mean, and seeing what they energy is like, right? I like to be in a room with people and talk to people and see what their energy is like when you get up close on them, right? Because people could fool you for a while, right? But their energy tell the whole story, right? So over time, their energy will tell a story.
Yeah.
So I don't we've been consistently doing this, you know what I mean, like for years, myself and Jim, and then with Les, we've been doing it for a little bit less time, but it's still consistent, and we
It's
all
still been
come.
years though, at this point.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's still been years, but what I'm saying is like the consistency of having somebody to talk to. When you have a question, you can get that question answered. When you have somebody that, if you got a deal to bring to the table, that you can bring the deal to the table. Like, I understand what it's like in the women's group, you know what I mean? And we have a smaller group, you know what I mean, with the Black Wealth Project and things of that nature, and that we can do that with. But we don't have as a general population that kind of ability to go to somebody and say, this is what we can do together if we work together, and then be able to show them the projects. Like, you just broke ground on a new project, you know what I mean? I showed people how to go ahead and grab some money on, Les is showing them how to grab money. 2 days she's showing them how to use insurance to build wealth for the family. So you got people that is doing the work every day, showing you what to do. And that there's no substitute for experience and experiential learning, right? Like, people will tell you all the time what they about, but they actually really show you what they're about. Are they really into what you know what I mean? Like, and so you get to see that, right? Like let's say over time, people start to say, look, all right, I'm not doing this right. Let me get some help. You know what I mean? Because I know these people will help me without judgment. You know what I mean? Because that's the other thing. You know what I mean? And I was talking about this earlier, the judgmental piece, right? People don't like to be judged about what their circumstances are, right? Because their circumstances are combinations of their actions, good or bad, right? And so they don't want judgment on that. They just want help. And so they can come to a community where they can get help.
And that's the thing though, all of us have different backgrounds, but we all like have similar struggles just based on culture. One of the things I like about the mastermind chat is that it's also like less of a classroom. So we have classes and things that we have, but this is like kicking it, right?
Yeah,
so
you ain't got a lot to kick it either.
Yeah, so it's still educational, but it's not like a class setting where it's like someone is giving a lecture and taking questions. It's not that. It's an open forum for people to bring their conversations to.
So one of the things that I want to say I feel is important, and one of the things that I appreciate about all of us, about me, you, Corey, CJ, is like, we're just who we are. I think I struggle with because of some of the things that I do as a professional. Like, I'm highly educated. I have a lot of licenses, and I think that what comes with that, especially with Black people, is that the expectation that you should have on a business suit and that you should speak a certain way, and I'm like, damn, but I'm not going to do that. And the reason why I'm not going to do that is because I am who I am. I'm a Black woman. I was born in the Brigantine Homes Projects in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I love rap music. And I like sweatpants and t-shirts. And so I don't think that it does my people any good for me to try to sit up here and be pretentious and act like I'm something that I'm really not, in an effort to coach you into giving me some money for a course. Like, you're going to take me as I am, and I'm going to take you as I am, and that's how we're going to deal with each other. Or you just not going to deal with me, and you're going to go find some white professional in a business suit and give them your money. And I'm okay with that, because I feel like for my audience, it's more appropriate and more effective for them to know, listen, Les will cuss you out.
No,
please don't mess with Les.
But that's why I love you though, because you got to be you.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why we win, because no matter how well we're doing, we never project ourselves as somebody that's so much smarter than you and that's doing so much better than you. And so people feel comfortable coming to us with these kinds of questions and with these kinds of needs, and they should feel that way. And I guess here's a good place for me to share. Like I said, I grew up for the first 5-6 years of my life in the projects in Atlantic City. And then I just would not accept that. You know, I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my family. My mom was one hell of a hustler. So it was just in me to work myself out of the projects. But with that said, I know my stuff. And so if you can't accept the fact that I'm just who I am as a Black woman and I came up rough like you, but I know my stuff, then as I said, go find some white professional in a suit to take advantage of you.
Yep.
I'm not, and that's the other thing that I want to say about me is I'm not going to do that. I had people say to me like, "Oh, well, my husband said we can get this insurance somewhere cheaper," and what? Okay, well, listen, if you can, I want you to, because it's not about the commission for me. It's about your baby needs this policy so that they can be a millionaire by the time they're 25, and I don't give a damn how that's achieved. Just go out there and get it done. And if you find something cheaper than what I've shown you, show me, because I need to be showing that to the people.
Yep. It's not
So
about,
for me,
it's not
I don't
about
want
your
your money.
commission.
I don't need your money. There's certain things that you will have to pay to do. Like I can't give you Fidelity's insurance for free. But for me, it's never about that. It's about helping you to do what's best for you and not what's best for me.
Yep. It's about the mission. It's about the mission, not the commission. Right.
Yeah.
That's what it's really about. And you got to be authentically.
Ooh.
Like I have a thing where I admire people who are completely authentically themselves, because that's the only value that you have to this world, is being yourself. You know what I mean? What's the old cliche everybody else is taking, right? Yeah, so I'm not with the whole suit. People even oftentimes ask me that, like, you know, you're a professional, you got licenses, and you be sharing some crazy stuff. I like ratchet memes, I like ratchet TV, so I'm gonna share that.
It is what it is.
That's one side of me though, like, you know what I'm saying. But again, to your point, and I like that way you said it. I know my shit though, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's
you
what
you want to see us
about.
dressed up. You can see us dressed up on June 18th.
Exactly.
There
you go. There you go.
Outside of that,
pretty much.
T-shirt.
You know what I mean? I got a hoodie on right now with t-shirts and hoodies. I get that, but yeah, man, cool. I know you want to say something about that.
Yeah, man. Like I get a lot of flack for being authentically me. I my partners have had to ask me not to say some of the things that I say in private, in public spaces. But the thing is, you're gonna get me, whoever I am. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I don't apologize for being me, right? I don't apologize for me being me from 5 years ago, because that's what I knew 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I didn't know as much as I know now. And so sometimes my ideas clash with one another, right? And so people, you know, I get called a hypocrite sometimes and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, 5 years ago, I didn't know what I know now. So yeah, I'm contradicting what I said because I know more. You know what I mean? And so if, you know, I don't take, you know, but my character never changed. If you need something from me and I got it, I'm gonna still give it to you. Like I work with people I don't like every single day because I'm mission focused, right? I'm about the mission. Forget all of the riffraff and all the other stuff. At the end, is me working with them going to help me get to the mission of helping the people that need to get the help. And if I can do that without compromising my morals and my and things of that nature, then I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Now, there's just some people I just can't work with because they snakes and they sharks, and I got to stay away from that kind of energy because, you know, I take that kind of stuff personal when you do that to the people that I care about. So I stay away from those kind of people. But my whole thing is, you know, when we working in these groups and we working together and we putting things together for people need to see who you are, right? Because if they don't know you, people don't buy products, people buy people. Like they buy things from people that they like and they trust. People don't buy products. There's 1,000, every product that we sell or people sell, those products exist everywhere in the market. They're buying them from you because they trust who you are and being in who you are. And so that's the other thing that people don't understand. You know, people be wanting to make themselves into things that they not and, you know, fake it till they make it. Man, listen, I'm broke, baby. I don't gotta fake it. You know what I mean? Because there's always somebody that got more money than me, and there's always going to be somebody who got less than I got. So you know what I mean? Like broke is relative. So I don't care about calling myself broke because it's relative. Broke is relative, right? If Bill Gates had my money, he'd commit suicide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying? But then, you know, if I'm walking in the streets of Philadelphia and there's a person on the ground with, you know, with no shelter and no clothing, I'm doing a lot better than that person. You know what I mean? And if I was in that situation, I might contemplate suicide. You know what I mean? Like, so it's all a matter of relativity. So it's not being me is who that's the only person I know how to be.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like you gotta give people, you know what I mean, who you are and not who you want them to think you are.
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, so I mean, but that's important in terms of what we're doing overall. I know that. Listen, we back outside now. Les is like literally in Miami right now, but you guys are planning on something in Jacksonville, right?
Right. So I think that we have definitely settled on number one, we want everybody to attend Ebony's The Puff Mistress Body Positive Harlem Renaissance themed fashion show. Her fashion shows I've never been able to attend one, but the videos that she posts online and the responses that she gets from people who have actually attended are just tremendous, right? So what she has planned for us on Saturday night is her fashion show at 6, followed by an after party. And so I'm trying to get us to buy out the VIP lounge and kind of have a private show for the fashion show. But Friday, what we are planning is just like a family reunion kickback. So we want everybody to fly in Friday afternoon and join us at this lakeside Airbnb. And we're just going to grill. We're just going to do what Black people do.
Yeah.
We're going to
do you have a date for this? Yeah, the date's already for this?
So that's 9/23.
September. Okay.
And that will probably start like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then on 9/24 will be Eb's fashion show, which starts at 6 o'clock. After party starts at I think 9 to 11. The venue is gorgeous. But on Friday, like I said, we're just gonna have a family reunion. I jokingly call it the Abacus Reject Reunion. But that's
so we got to September. That's in September. All right, cool.
Yeah. And so everybody fly in on Friday, attend the family reunion, go to the fashion show and after party on Saturday, and then head home on Sunday.
Oh, that's a dope weekend. All right,
I think that I will have a residence in Florida in September or in August. So I will be home, hopefully. Listen, every time I come to Florida, I just feel like, man, I need to be here.
Hey, listen, man. You know what Biggie say? Any place I visit, I got land there. Like this ain't playing no games. But no, this is dope, man. Les, I just want to before we get out of here, I just want to thank you so much for the value that you bring to our community, for the way you inspire people and the way you bring people together. I think is very powerful. Like and we just can't wait to see what we all build together in the future because it's going to be amazing. We're going to continue to do what we do. But I just want to say thank you for your time right now because you're traveling. You still jumped on with us, so I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, they went to the beach and left me. I'm like, nah, I gotta meet up with my bros at 1 o'clock. So the beach. I'm gonna stay here and handle business, and I'll see y'all at 6.
The beach will still be there. The beach ain't gonna run from you.
No doubt.
Next weekend I'll be in Puerto Rico, so I'll definitely do some beach time in Puerto Rico.
Okay, nice. Listen, so for the folks out there, I'm gonna put all Les's information in terms of social media. I'll put it in the show notes as well as the description. For all the ladies out there, make sure you reach out to her. She has a powerful community full of women and look just like you that she's building with and helping to achieve things. What I like about it is from the women's chat to the co-ed, we have people from all walks of life in terms of professionals, business owners, executives, entrepreneur, everything. And it's all in one space, just sharing energy. So make sure you reach out to any of us. Because what we're doing is we're building a true community that adds value. And it's important for us to highlight the work that Les is doing because Les is doing phenomenal work. So
Melanated work.
Amazing thing.
Let me just touch on a couple things before we go. I totally forgot. So Melanated Money, we are just kind of rebranding with the Melanated Money as the umbrella. And under there, we will do everything that we've been doing with the Black Day Trader. Ensuring legacies is going to be the insurance leg of Melanated Money, but it's that Melanated Money is that holistic umbrella to everything that we're doing already. So it's just a rebrand, but the same passion, the same goals. And the other thing that I want to talk about is I'm going to be doing live trainings in Illinois, South Carolina, Maryland, where else? California, probably adding Las Vegas, but I'm going to post Yeah, Houston. There you go. See, I can't even keep up with it all. But I'm going to post that schedule, and the link will be on the schedule if you want to go and reserve your seat. And what I'm going to be teaching you guys in those 3-day classes, we're going to do live trading. But I'm going to walk you through how to set up your chart with some very simple indicators, not overcomplicating anything at all. And then what I'm looking for when I go to the market those 2 days a week, the setup, the indicators, the watch list that I'm using, how to execute profitable swing trades 2 days a week, and then walk away from the computer and go enjoy the money that you make as a swing trader. So I'm excited about that. Look for the flyer with the link to reserve your spot to be posted today, which is what?
Yeah,
Saturday, May 14th.
Yeah, this will be out this upcoming Wednesday. But what I'll do is I'll put the link to your like socials, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna post all that stuff on your, your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever it may be. So everybody can come check out everything that you got going on. Okay. Make sure you follow us on our socials. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again for your time as always. We love and appreciate you. And we always will be there for anything that you need. And can't wait to get back down Jersey, man, to get some of them wings that CJ put us down with, man. I'm still thinking about
that. the wings and things.
Wings, they were great, but the best wings I ever had was the jerk wings at Bahama Breezes. So if you have not had those,
they fire too.
We had 5 orders of them joints.
Good that was going in.
So that's my recommendation.
You already know, man. Corey, you got anything to say if we got here, good brother?
You know, I love Les. Like she was on the phone with me when old head was tripping and my son was hitting me in the head with Cheerios, and you know what I mean. And my life was a mess. You know what I mean. So we you know what I mean, we gonna take it to the next level. You know what I mean. We already leveled up, and now we ready to take it to that whole next level.
It's definitely nothing but genuine brother sisterly love. Like I really love y'all. Me and CJ appreciate you guys so much. And I can't wait to be able to see y'all and give y'all a hug again.
Listen, the feel is mutual. You already know.
Yeah, we flying out. You know what I mean? Like, cause when you go to Houston, I got a crib down in Houston. I'm gonna be there.
Then,
what's your date on Houston? What's the date on Houston? I'll find that out offline. I'll find that out offline. Because I definitely want to come out to that too. You got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm gonna try to hit Las Vegas. If you go to Vegas, I definitely want to hit
Vegas. I can tell you is next month, the 21st through the 26th. That I know because we just talked about it this morning.
June 21st. See, that's right after the joint, the ball. So she's gonna be in Philly on the 18th, and then in Vegas on the 21st.
Yeah. Listen, let's see if we can put something together. Like I'm probably gonna stay that weekend. Let's see if we can get some people together and do something teaching oriented.
Okay.
That weekend.
All right, let's figure that out. All right, cool. Well, listen, for the folks out there, we can talk about this offline. I just want y'all to know, listen, thank you so much for all the support and love. Make sure you follow Les. See everything she got going on. If you can, pull up to one of our monthly masterminds, and you can see exactly what it is we're talking about as we talk about everything from the best buffalo wings to the best investments to the best insurance to real estate and all. But anybody that's watching or listening, want to say we definitely appreciate you, and we will see you on our next episode. But as we always say, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Game elevates. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Love y'all. Peace.